I know what your problem is.
What's that?
Y'all think us folks from the country's real funny like, don't you?
Jerry?
Yeah, well, saddle up the mule, Ma. Slide me some bricks. I've got to get me some education.
Jerry.
You asshole.
No, I'm really very interested. I'm not trying to make fun.
Gotcha.
You are such a bad guy. Oh.
That was sick. I love it. That was sick.
Now that's how we kick off the barbecue tonight. It's time to light the fires and kick the motherfucking tires because it's a Friday night, and this is the first time that the barbecue has ever been on a Friday. So what do we do at the barbecue besides have some fucking ribs, some chicken, and just about anything else? It is time to get that party started. So if you got something with you, man, feel free to get it on because tonight we have got the grudge match of the century. That's right. We're going to be talking about Wolfcop versus fucking Werewolves Within. Two excellent movies in their own right. And we're going to just kind of be going through both of them. We got some videos for you that we're going to show. And then at the end, we're going to try to see who's going to win this battle. So now is the time. If there's a horror lover out there and you know them, you need to share the shit out. Share it out right the fuck now, anywhere and everywhere to make sure that everybody gets in on this one. Because if you're a fan of either one of the films, come be a part of the fucking conversation. And thank you to both my brothers, Aaron and Cody, for joining me tonight in place of Carnage because he's a little under the weather today. So they are definitely saving my ass. So and they got plenty to add to this grudge match, that's for sure. So before we get into it, man, it is time to take a quick commercial break to our brother over at Frozen Dead Comics. Check that shit out. That's right, Johnny Necro from Horror Adorables, Frozen Dead Comics, and of course, Antastics. If you guys honestly haven't gotten over to see Johnny's stuff, you've got to get over there. He's so easy to find anywhere on Facebook. All of the links are there. He's got a link tree. So, I mean, anything from T-shirts to obviously his killer fucking comics and all of the different horror-inspired collectibles that are essential for every horror lover. So let's get down to it. God damn it! So how we doing tonight, there, Aaron and Cody?
I'm doing great, man.
Cody? I'm doing pretty good.
I'm ready to do
awesome.
it. Let's howl at the
yeah.
moon.
It's been a long week. I've been looking forward to this ever since we talked today. So
exactly too.
See, that's just kind of how the cosmos fucking works, man. Two killer fucking movies. Now, first of all, I was a fan ever since I saw the Universal Monsters, Lon Chaney Jr., Werewolf, Wolfman, actually, so sorry. And automatically fell in love with the lore, the idea of this creature. It can be, passionate, beautiful, and fucking brutal all at the same time. And I've just always been a creature feature fan. And you know, the Wolfman is one of my favorite monsters of all time, next to Frankenstein. But so, I mean, now we have, well, I mean, these two films I don't think are the first of their kind, due to the fact that, you know, there's been horror comedies, you know, for quite some time. But on this level where you blend the seriousness with the brutality of the creature, and you're kind of getting the best of both worlds. But, you know, this day and age, it's like sky's the limit. They're both kind of independent. They're actually pretty much independent films. Obviously, they had good budgets, but still independent films anyway. And they just blew my mind, each of them. I don't know about you guys, but Wolfcop, for me, I found that by mistake. It was on one of the streaming apps long time ago, because Wolfcop came out in 2014. And it just happened to show up on one of my streaming services at the time. And I was like, this has to be either really fucking dumb or it's going to kick my ass. I don't know. I am just an absolute fan of it, which is so fucking funny because I have not seen the second one yet. I know, shame on me. What the fuck? But what was your guys' initial reactions to this film?
Cody, do you want to go? Or
honestly, when I first seen it, I figured it was just going to be another, you know, indie film that was going to end up being absolute dog ass. And that's just that was just the vibe I got from the poster. I was like, this is going to be probably an hour and a half of some boring shit. But honestly, it kind of got interesting very quickly. So that was my first take on it. But yeah, that's just.
now I would agree with that, because it's like I thought like what Reaper was saying too, is it's like either it's going to be absolutely amazing and rip my face off, or like you said, it's going to be Sci-Fi Channel wasting people's money with a crazy concept that was not going to go nowhere to begin with. There was no writing behind it. And
The poster looked like something they would have. My bad.
Yeah, you know what I mean? The old school kind of thing like that. But
Yeah.
it delivered. It delivered in the right way. Surprisingly delivered, yeah. I would totally say that about both films.
Yeah, definitely.
The other one, they both, like you said, they're not going to be the first werewolf movie. You know, they can't be. They've been, you know, around since the 20s and 30s and before that. But also not first horror comedy. But if you take the concept on how they made each of those concepts their own within the lore and the, you know, the ways that people would view it on film, was really interesting. Both of them delivered completely on that.
And what I found really interesting is whoever, you know, would have thought of making a werewolf like a superhero. And then I got to thinking, because I've always been a huge fan of the Werewolf by Night comics from back in the 60s. I always loved that, and I always kind of looked at the werewolf in that scenario as a superhero. So I was like, oh shit! So we're bringing kind of a little bit of that flavor to it. It's
got the buddy cop aspect to it too. You know what I mean? With the partners, you have that off of each other's different personalities in it. But the thing that I liked about it is, okay, it kind of called me back to a show that was in the 90s called Forever Night.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah, where he was a vampire, but he was a cop.
Right.
It reminded me of kind of like that, to where it's like your duty is so strong to this purpose that even when that takes over, you're guided to still somewhat be you. To
Absolutely.
to still do
What's
justice.
up, Cody?
Cody. A lot of Codys. There's 2 Codys.
Got a good name there, dude. I like it.
Sure. He's a very, very up and coming indie actor.
Oh, nice. Nice to meet you.
Glad to have you, brother. You were saying though.
For like, okay, for Wolf, like exactly like for Wolfcop though, is it's like it's hard for a movie to go, okay, we're going to be a horror and a comedy. Just to pull that off at the right time is hard. But then when you're dipping into buddy cop territory and all these other kind of different things and turning it on its own way,
Right.
you're making it your own. You're not copying anybody, but you were inspired by the lore and the original lore, I believe, because of a certain Wolfsbane reference.
Yeah.
Straight out of Cheney.
There's definitely
So.
yeah, an air of occult that goes along with it, and the spin that they take with there being this like behind the scenes, druid cult, kind of like pulling the strings of this whole thing, I thought was fucking genius. And where did they do it? In a fucking forest.
I love that factor in it. I even wrote that down. I wish they would have gave a little bit more of an insight to it, but I get it, dude. It also builds a suspense around it not doing it. So I'm kind of on both sides of it.
True. No, I agree with that. It gave me, was it Hot Fuzz? We're into the comedy aspect, but you got the town that's been plotting all this different kind of crazy stuff, and you don't know who you can trust. Both films captured that. You really don't know who you can trust through most of them. And,
right.
And that alone creates its own sense of horror for you, because in the unknown, it's like, oh, somebody in this room is a killer. Is it you? Is it you? Is it you? Is it me? It starts creating that paranoia that people feed into that fear and start doing crazy stuff.
Absolutely.
I think they both killed it with that.
Yeah, that's definitely a similarity, and we'll definitely be kind of connecting those dots as we go. No worries. Well, shit, they're 2 fucking great films. But, Lou is the typical likable guy. He's down on his luck as a cop. Everybody fucking hates him, basically. He's a drunk. And it's somebody we can connect, with there. And you automatically see that pretty much all of the town hates the police force, which I think everybody can kind of get with that concept,
Like no respect at all.
No, I mean, they were throwing bottles at him, and of course, the town... Yeah, the town's kind of being held for ransom a little bit by, the local meth gangsters, if you could call them that. And Lou's best friend is like the most comical, perfect best friend. He's a gun nut, and, he loves to fuck shit up.
He was my favorite character in the entire movie.
Oh, shit, yeah, absolutely.
Which was well acted by everybody. I did not disapprove of anybody's acting, which also surprised me. Because sometimes, it's like he was saying, you'd expect it to where they're going to overact real bad and make it so fake you can't even have fun with a werewolf cop movie.
Exactly.
And they didn't do that. And I loved, that was the thing about it I really liked. They didn't push that in the other direction. It was good writing and forethought. It's like, oh, this would be better if we did it that way. I loved that.
Exactly.
I loved that.
That's what really makes the film what it is. It's damn good fucking writing, even though a lot of people probably think it's, a little bit of schlock humor here and there. And of course it's in there. I mean, fucking hell, they're not making, The Godfather.
It knew what kind of film they were making.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with that?
This is a film that I think, someone like Bruce Campbell would want to get in on. That's how fucking cool it is.
Exactly.
What are some of your favorite characters, Cody?
I loved his best friend and Lou the most out of the whole movie. Like, they had that where they bounced back and forth, and they could just go with each other.
Right. It seemed like they were real friends. Yeah.
It's like you got the badass and you got the friend of the badass who's not exactly a badass, but he can help nudge him to where he needs to go a little bit, I love that factor about that.
Oh, a point that I noticed watching the film. His name. Lugaroo?
Yeah. That's above
Arugaroo.
The preacher in Louisiana.
Yeah, basically a Louisiana werewolf.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I loved that.
I caught that closer to the end. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I love the little nods like that. For me, that was one of the biggest things for me for it. It knew what it was, but it didn't forget like the lore that inspired it to begin with. But it's like, now we're going to turn the volume up so we have some fucking crazy fun because it's a werewolf cop movie.
Yep.
I loved it. I really don't. I don't have negatives for the film.
The only thing I think I have negative about it is I'm a firm believer that horror movies don't have to be over sexualized to get the point across. And that would have a little bit of sexualization to me. Just took it a little bit far, but you know what I mean. It's just other than that, you got to give it. I give it to him. His junk forming into a werewolf junk was kind of creative. I'll give him that. But it's just kind of.
I couldn't stop fucking laughing at that point.
He just sold the entire film to anybody watching it right now. They will watch
My bad if that ruins it. There's some people that might give them some interest. Who knows?
No, I agree with you on that though, because it's something that normally in a werewolf film that isn't covered. It's not something that they think about. It's like, why did the Wolfman always transform and he's fully clothed? Because it was the 1920s and 30s, and his wolf dork can't be hanging out. It's like even as they went on into the other films, there's something like
Excellent Monster Squad.
Wolfman's got nards.
Right.
But you don't want to see a big set of hairy balls before this thing jumps you and eats you, I guess. So, but I'm glad that in the movie that was willing to go there didn't forget about that in his transformation process. It was part of you, so I wasn't. I really wasn't.
I really can't say I was against it either, because usually I don't like senseless stuff like that.
No,
if it doesn't
on those stories, though,
But
it's after thinking about it, it kind of.
I'm sitting there going, Lou is banging the bartender as a werewolf. What is more fucking hilarious than that? I felt like
my first thing was what happened to her.
Right?
What made her attracted to a giant wolf man?
And that's a twist we don't want to give away, though. Which is why I was going to say, character-wise, I thought her character was very pivotal and surprising. Like, really? Because as we kind of stated before, there's almost like a kind of a behind-the-scenes kind of, crazy shit. You don't know who's who and who's doing what and why. So you're just going to catch that.
Yeah, that was done so well that it's nothing's heavy-handed. It makes it difficult for you to try to piece it together, but the pieces are there.
Her character will definitely make you say, "What the fuck?"
I agree.
That was badass.
Oh yeah, no, that got me. I was like, what just happened? Am I okay now? Good stuff.
Absolutely right. You are okay. That is actually a photo of my first creature appearance on screen as the devil from a metal music video that I did a number of years ago.
It's effective. It was effective. Got my attention. Oh, something I want to make sure though that I do say for Wolfcop before I forget. I also liked as crazy and out there as the film could get at times. It wasn't. I mean, it was a very masculine type film, but they also weren't afraid to have a strong female, co-lead at times in the movie, who was, if not as badass as he was.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly. And I love a film that's not willing, that's not going to go, oh, it's got to be just the man as the hero. The man is the badass. It was the chick too handling her business. It was awesome. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we've alluded to this quite a bit, so we're going to take a quick look at the transformation scene that we were talking about. Check that shit out.
Easy. Shit. Not recording. Holy fuck.
That was so much all in one take. It was an homage to American Werewolf in London because everyone wants to see that process, and the process was killer. Now, of course, I had to cut it down a little bit from what it was, but if you watch the film, and you better watch the motherfucking film after seeing this because man, you don't want to miss it. And the fact that his fucking boy is like, oh shit, I forgot to turn the video camera on. Sitting there going, woo, showtime. Got a beer in hand. Just he's getting a kick out of this thing. Normal folk would be like,
yeah, like,
what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, it was really casual to him. It's like, oh, it's just a Tuesday. It's fine. Just watch my friend turn into a werewolf right in front of my eyes. It's all good.
That was the first werewolf transformation scene that I was just dying laughing. At first, I was like, damn, those practical effects are bad fucking ass. And then, they cut back to his dude outside, and I lose it. I'm just losing it. So I don't know about y'all.
Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah. I'm totally with you. Yeah.
So I mean, that's another thing, and we've all kind of said this as well. But for the Morbrett universe that hasn't seen this yet, this is a film that once that lighter gets lit and the wick is burning, it just keeps going all the way through the film. It never lets up. You're either laughing your ass off or you find a new character that you fucking hate. Because I can honestly say when they introduced the little kingpin of the little meth group, I wanted to punch that motherfucker in the jaw. I couldn't stand him from jump. and I think the guy that played his character was perfect.
I agree. Yeah. With parts like that, especially those kind of characters, you need an actor that can carry that to where it's like, oh yeah, that is the dude with the punchable face. It's like you would walk up to if he's a villain, and everybody in the audience wants to see you just annihilate him.
Right.
I love people that can pull that off. Yeah. And it's like you said, I agree. It's like I dislike
Going back to the
character as soon as it came in. Sorry, go ahead.
You
Go ahead, Cody.
Going back to the part where he's not. Going back to the part where he's not recording. If that was a real life situation, that would be my best friend. He would be that person. He'd be standing there watching me transform and not turn the shit on.
It's like you're gonna make me go through all this pain and all this crap again just because you didn't hit the record button. Oh man, that's messed up.
I mean, your entire fucking body is breaking down. Bones are changing. Your skin's ripping. I mean, women are probably like, yeah, I wish them guys could go through that every day because that's what labor's like, you know?
It probably feels like that to some degree, you know? I mean, you're not probably wrong there.
Right. But I mean, the only thing that was missing, in my opinion, was, you know, he could have had like one of those little apartment grills next to him and grilling some hot dogs while he's watching this shit. It was so fucking hilarious. And then, you know, again, we're not trying to, you know, give too much away. We lost Cody, but he will be back. Don't worry about that. But yeah, I mean, we all have that friend that would just be like, oh, gnarly, you know, like this fucking cool. Everyone needs to see this shit, you know?
I agree. No, it's one of those films. No, I agree with you. Like, it's a movie that, like, it's called Wolfcop. Yeah, but it knows what it is, but it delivers on everything it says it's going to. And a lot of films can't do that. They can't back up their own concept sometimes, you know, where it's like, oh, it's a great idea, but they just failed in, you know, getting the execution of it there. They didn't here. And like you said, you know, the sequel, you know, this so jacked up, you know, got me excited. I want to see it. I really do. It's like, what's going to happen next? I'm hooked.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's the fact of, okay, we've now seen him transform, right? So what's next? What is he gonna do once he leaves there? And that first fucking action sequence, it's like, I don't know any other fucking movie that would have put him in a position where he's doing his fucking job as a werewolf. You know, I mean, we've all seen Teen Wolf back in the day, not that bullshit that MTV put out. Don't even go there with me out there in the Morgrot universe. I'm sorry, I fucking hate that show. But you know, Teen Wolf, you know, he's a teenager, he changes to werewolf, and you know, he's
the original Teen
you know
Wolf
what I mean?
A little bit.
Yeah. I mean, fucking Michael J. Fox knocked that shit out of the park. I loved it.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
But
I get where you're coming from. I did think of it watching the movie, even though the movie's nothing like it, you know. But it does have that air in there, though. It really does, because of what the wolf does for the character.
Yeah.
You know,
and
yeah.
He encompasses exactly what a werewolf does. It preys on whatever, you know, it wants to. But, you know, the son of a bitch talked. And when he talked, it threw me way the fuck off. I don't know about you guys, but I was like, this went a whole new level of badassery.
Yeah.
Right after he transformed, he was on the what was it, bourbon and the liquor donuts. I'm like, yeah, are you really doing this shit? Is what I thought. I was like, because I wasn't expecting. Sorry for that. I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties here.
Oh, no worries. Man, I mean, of course, I'm sitting there. I got my bottle next to me as I was watching the film, as I usually when I'm watching horror films, just chilling back, having a little cocktail, and this motherfucker is taking it to the head everywhere he goes. I'm like, that's fun. Right there, Lou is my ride or die guy for life.
It was like the werewolf. It was like the werewolf's version of Popeye spinach. Is what it felt like.
There you go. That's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, but it's like you said with the best friend. The best friend character is like you seeing somebody's drinking problem that and every time you see them drinking, you're like, damn, man, that's a lot. It reminded me of like Blazing Saddles. Where Gene Wilder is in the empties the bottle and he's like, do you want breakfast? No, I'm good. I don't eat. He's like, you keep drinking like that, you ain't gonna, it's like, but for Lou, it really was like Popeye was a perfect answer because it really was like his spinach. The hair of the dog really worked for him. But to see somebody you've known that long be like, God damn, man, you got a problem. Are you okay? It's like, that's a lot, buddy. Are you all right? And that's the crazy conspiracy guy. Is more put together than your lead. It's supposed to be the hero. Exactly. So it just made it.
The dichotomy between the two of them, because, Lou as the Wolfcop is all about fucking shit up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude becomes nuts.
Of that shit all the way.
Oh no, exactly. Yeah. I was trying to say there was a movie that I was watching that made me think of it when I was watching it. And it's like once this character gets into another zone, you're screwed. And the only thing that I thought of, and I'm sure somebody would have probably said this, it gave me RoboCop vibes at times.
A little bit.
Like little aspects of it, because it's like, granted, Murphy was a lot more put together than Lou, but Lou knew what he was doing. Once things went differently for him, he knew how to handle business. And then once the wolf comes into play, he's kicking ass and taking names for justice. And it's like, if you can't get behind the werewolf cop kicking bad guys, come on, man.
Well, and it makes total fucking sense, too, because if you piss a wolf off, he's going to come looking for you. Or she, don't get me wrong. They're going to come after you with a vengeance. And that's exactly what he does.
And that's the thing. Disrespect, mess with them, keep poking at the dog until the dog takes your finger off. Or you back into the corner and smack at it, and eventually you're going to lose an arm. And it's going to be your own fault. It's like,
I think
you piss off,
Exactly. It's like, Lou becoming the werewolf makes him do his job better.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Yeah. Exactly. And Wolf, it reminded me a little bit of Wolf. With that. In the flavor in certain areas of that, it did. But it was still, sorry, the earthquake there.
No, you're good.
It had flavor without. It wasn't that. It was like it was so good with these layers, with still being its own thing. Without it didn't rip nobody off. It didn't copy nobody. It was totally its own thing.
Exactly.
Right.
Do that. It's hard to get ones that can walk that line, especially horror comedy. But you throw action on top of it too. And without giving anything away, except for the guys that understand, a certain scene that has to do with that, and then happening to see that person later as they yell at the friend was my favorite scene out of the entire movie. That was
for sure.
Gory scenes like that I have ever seen in a film, and I have seen some doozies.
Yeah, that was one of the. I think that was one of the funniest scenes to me in the aspects of funny.
Yes.
Like most people are like, "Oh, that's gory as shit," and I'm sitting here thinking that's funny as fuck.
Well, it's both. I mean, that whole sequence of that is the perfect marriage of horror comedy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that scene is just bloody, gory chaos that is funny the whole time. And it's like
it was definitely perfectly
like, people
balanced.
got it. Exactly. People got it. They were like, that shit is like so off the wall. It came out of nowhere, and damn, that was funny. It's one of those things too. It's a cult classic.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Cult classic, I would put with it 100%. I would even say In the Neighborhood that to me, it had the nods almost to Trauma too, because it's like if Trauma made a pop movie, there you go, to a large degree, it could have gone that way and I would have believed it. And it's like, 10 stars. I love the film.
Well, as a matter of fact, before we kind of give our points for this, because as you know, out there in the Morgrot universe, this is Wolfcop versus Werewolves Within. So we're going to go ahead and take a quick look at one of these scenes as to what we've been kind of telling you for the past half hour. And we will give our synopsises after this. I mean, this scene is just epic to me. It really ignites the film, and then it's just all the way through. We don't want to ruin it for you out there in case you haven't seen it. Better go see it. Anyway, here we go. Check it out.
What the fuck are you? The Flies. Show yourself! Fuck! Get up! I've got hostages! Shut up! Shut the fuck up!
Thank you, officer.
Hey, Lou, don't forget to murder someone else on the way to the car. Low profile, man.
Well done, Lou. That's one more thing for us to explain now, man. Why don't you just go run down the street yelling fucking down the Akbar? If we get out of here, we go home before you blow down the whole... What? I know what you're thinking, and I approve.
Couldn't agree more.
That ending part right there, the part where they're looking at each other and saying, "I know what you're thinking, and I approve." That is literally me and my two best friends to a T.
There you go.
We will look at each other and think,
it's like your drinking buddy, your fishing pal, your hunting pal, all rolled into one. And he's like, I am all about shit. Let's do it. Okay. Oh, go ahead.
No, you guys covered it. I fully agree with everything you guys said. That's one of my favorite scenes. That's great.
It's like, I don't know. There's no better team than that. If it was like, a partner on the force, I don't think it would have sold it the way, him and his, lackey best friend.
I agree. Yeah.
Because most of the time, you got the doom. I don't want to call him like a doomsday prepper, but the guy that's on the conspiracy theories and all that. Usually, the cop is always against him. He's never going to believe him. He's not going to do shit with him. And the fact that he's that way and he's kind of like, yeah, and he just goes along with it, it kind of just made it a little bit better.
Yeah, it did, I agree. Yeah, it made him feel like they were closer, like they knew each other, like they had a long.
What's up, JD? What are we talking about? This is the grudge match of the century: Wolfcop versus Werewolves Within. So, in case you missed the first half, make sure you go back and catch the replay afterwards. We're discussing these two films, and we're going to see which one comes out ahead. Literally. But okay, so we're going to go ahead and go around and rate the film as far as what, obviously like the fine points of what we loved about it. So I'll go ahead and go first. For me, I'm actually going to give this one a 5 out of 5 because I feel that it hit everything that I want in a chaotic film like this. So the comedy was on point all the way through. Acting was fucking stellar. Excellent cast. The practical effects were badass as fuck. And the one that really cinched it for me is the fucking story. The writing on this film was over the top. So 5 out of 5 for me. You can go ahead, Aaron.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that, like, okay, Willie, the best friend, played by Jonathan Cherry, is good. I agree with everything you said. All the acting, everybody fit every part. Me, for him, in certain times, he carried the film as it was getting ready to amp up the volume.
He so did.
You see what I'm saying? It's like he carried it by cool stuff was still going on with the other characters. The film wasn't letting you down, but he has that arc in it. Like I said, they weren't afraid to have strong female characters in it, and I enjoyed that too. Especially because a movie that is very macho, yeah, it's a werewolf cop messing people up. Usually, like Cody had said, sometimes you're going to get it way over sexualized when it doesn't need to be, and you'll mess up the story too.
Right.
They didn't do that. They made smart choices to where they could have messed up the movie and they didn't.
Right.
And I like that. That was thought and continuity and things like that. And like you said, a deeper story than I was expecting it to be by far. So 5 out of 5 for me.
Hell yeah. Cody?
I think I'll give it, my rating on it, I'd give it 4.5 out of 5. Like, I believe I'm exactly the way y'all do. I thought it was put together well. The acting was great. Everything went pretty much as good as a horror comedy could go, in my opinion. The only reason I didn't give it a full 5 is I wish, like I said earlier, I wish there was a little bit more of the scene for the ritual happening, and a little bit more of the actual gore factor in it. But other than that, it's a damn good movie to me. I'd recommend anybody to watch it.
I can understand his point too, though, because the story does pull you in, and you want that little background more that they kind of tease, and it could be in the sequel. I don't know yet, but I'm damn sure gonna watch it because of how much I enjoyed this one. But I totally agree with you on that one. Yeah, I could have used just a little bit more of that, but yeah, delivered on every level for me.
Yeah.
Now, we want you, everybody out in the comment section, if you have seen this film, Wolfcop, we want to get your 2 cents as well. So don't be fucking shy. Let us know what you thought of this film as well, because we love to get that feedback. Obviously, you can take our word for it, but at the same token, we want to inspire you to check these out as well. Every film that we've talked about on the Horror Barbecue so far, because we're talking about some killer fucking independent films that are becoming cult classics. Are there some fucking stinkers? Well, I'm sure you know about them. Because as we know, Tubi has a lot of indie film. Some are good, some are not so good. So, if we're bringing it to you, it's because we feel you need to check that shit out. And currently, Wolfcop is on Tubi. There is no fucking reason that you don't go and check this film out. And it's, I don't know, like, we are definitely big fans of this film. And from what we've shown you so far, you're definitely going to want to check that shit out.
It's
So
definitely
before-
something you could do.
Oh, sorry.
It's definitely something like on a Friday, Saturday night. If you don't want to go out, you don't want to do something, don't want to go out, don't want to get dressed up, put this movie on, get some popcorn or something to sit there and watch it. It's definitely worth an hour and 30 minutes. I think that it was. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah, no, I agree with him on that. That's a popcorn movie. Yeah, all the way. Sit there, have a good time, joke with your friends, be like, oh wow, it's watch it with your significant other. I think it's 100%.
I mean, it's a real party film. It really is. I mean, you could get all your film or your friends over and check it out all at the same time. That's great to hear. JD He says, I haven't seen them, so now I have to watch them tonight. Guaranteed, once you check this out, it's going to be badass. All right. So we are now going to switch gears because we have another film. This is why this is a grudge match between the two that is really fucking good, but it's different. There are very, very big differences in this next film, but there's a lot of similarities too. So the one that we are talking about is the Werewolves Within. This, to me, was a diamond in the rough. Another one of those films that was a suggestion on a streaming service. Obviously, people know what the fuck I like to watch. So it came around on Hulu, of all places. And I was like, all right. Just from the poster, looking at the lead character, the one that kind of surrounds this whole film, I'm thinking to myself, he looks like he's going to be hilarious. He's going to be that average Joe, not super bright, but he's definitely somebody that people can walk on. And before we actually start getting into the guts of this thing, I do have the full trailer for you to kind of set the tone before we talk about it. So we're going to check out the trailer for Werewolves Within real quick. Check that shit out.
Should have packed our snowshoes.
What? People do that?
Fun fact, not only is it the oldest, but remains one of the most effective means of traversing the ice.
Wow. Yeah, you're gonna fit right in at Beaverfield. Everything here is a little questionable. Ranger! The people. The weather. Everything.
Oh.
Ranger? You look like you just seen a corpse.
Well, the roads are effed. And something's wrong with the generator.
Which generator?
All of them.
Get on the internet!
Also, there's a dead body under your porch.
Probably a wolf.
What are you, like a wolf detective now, Marcus?
Who knows? Who will win it?
Who's gonna kill next?
I think we can all agree that it's unsafe outside and there's safety in numbers. Out of curiosity, who is packing? Well, we're having a good old-fashioned sleepover.
With guns.
With guns, yes.
Everything about this predator is unorthodox. It's not a human. It's not a canine. It's one of them.
One of what? A what?
A werewolf.
Now, When I think of actresses that go above and beyond, like they really exaggerate a scene, when that lady was looking at the corpse of her dog and she's just fucking overselling it, I was dead. I was dead at that very moment. But as you can see, I mean, there's some definite similarities. We're in another foresty kind of place, and we also have a forestry officer. So it's a little different. He's not a cop, obviously, but that's one similarity there. You have a guy in a situation where everyone's looking to him for the answers. Like he's the big dog in town, and as you can see, he's very much a pussy willow. That's the only thing I can call the guy. He's very prim, very proper, and I don't know. My initial reaction to the character development from the very beginning, as we get to the bigger section of the film, is he's kind of fucking clueless. He's a walk all over kind of guy. What did you guys think?
The guy that plays the main character, I seen him he was in Hocus Pocus 2.
Yep.
And he played, I don't know if it's just his name, but he literally plays the same character in different costumes, and that's how I feel. It's like he's just being his damn self playing dress up. I mean, like I said,
I love that reference.
Do what?
I love that reference. That was spot on.
I haven't seen this one all the way through, so y'all might be taking a little bit more lead on this one than me, but my first impression of it was Shaun of the Dead for some reason. I picked up Shaun of the Dead vibes off this movie. So bad. It's kind of like Shaun of the Dead mixed with 30 Days of Night is how I felt.
That's interesting.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that too.
Like
Yeah.
I've watched maybe 30 minutes of it, so
That's really good on that end. Yeah, no, he's totally right. Yeah, no, I get that now. Now that he said that, it's like,
See it?
oh, yep, all right, I can see that. No, it's like totally right. But it's like, okay, like at the very beginning of the film, without giving anything away, even before you see a single bit of footage, they do a quote from somebody. Okay, and I think that explains his character to get you going into the kind of person you're dealing with here. Now, did he get better or stronger and stuff like that as a character arc throughout the film? I would say so. I would definitely say so, but didn't lose that side of him, because usually in a film, if a character goes through something, there's somebody different by the end of it. And I think he was, but he wasn't at the same time. I think he was very much the same guy. Just like, what the hell what just happened, And it's like, and I agree with him. It's like, I've seen him in like Hocus Pocus 2 and other things like that. And it's like what people think with Johnny Depp, especially in his older career. It's him just playing dress up in a character, but it's just him being him. But I enjoyed it, and I even got nods of like slight nods, but definitely Tony Todd in Night of the Living Dead remake.
Yes, there were moments.
Control of the situation at times, you know what I mean? It's like you could see that strength and the stuff, but like you said, he's usually more of the weaker, let the bigger personalities beat him down. But it was it's an interesting film. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did. But as soon as getting into it, it's like I one of its taglines was, it is a whodunit with teeth.
Yep.
And that's it. It's like Clue and Werewolves You know, take a werewolf and put it into Clue and say, oh, guess what? They didn't just kill Mr. Body, they ate him. Now, who is it?
Right?
When I was writing notes for this movie, my battery. When I was writing notes for this movie, I was trying to think of the name of the damn board game that this was going along with, and I couldn't think of it for nothing. You just finally brought it back.
I'm glad I could assist. But it totally vibes because the paranoia and the fear that they start having off of each other just because you don't know. You have no idea. It's like you're somebody that's lived down your street could be the werewolf. Somebody that you've known since you went to school with them could be the werewolf. And they're going to eat you tonight. You don't know. You could be sitting next to them on the couch. And the human brain, I think the film did that better than most films like that for most of it, because it led you in a direction towards almost anybody. It's not, it has to be this character, and it's like, well, at the end, obviously it's this one, you know, where you feel like they led you the whole way. This film did not do that to me at all. It makes you go, oh, it could be, well, oh, wait a minute, it could be, is that somebody doing? And I like that it did that. It really took the whodunit even more than it did the werewolf aspect to it. And I thought that was
the part of it for me, because I do enjoy a good whodunit kind of story. We've seen that
time too.
Yeah, because you know. From the other night when I was talking to director Chris Shern, he is kind of a master of that psychological thriller where he can make you think that it's this person, but it's the other person. It may not even be happening. So here we have the main character in a small town, just like fucking Wolfcop. It's out in the forest, which is perfect, obviously. I mean, it's another homage, in my opinion, to Wolfman, because that's where, you know, the deeds happen, basically.
It's always a manor house in the woods. Yeah.
Yeah, it always is. And it's the perfect setting. It's a dismal looking place that I would love to live. Actually, that's like my ideal place to be, right there in the forest, in the middle of it all.
I just don't want
right. You take the snow out of it, make it fall all year long.
Oh yeah. I
mean, it's Halloween 24/7 in my house anyway.
This is Halloween.
365.
Like Billy Butcherson, you know, Hocus Pocus.
Right.
You know? But the thing too with this film that I gotta say that it's really interesting to that point that it did have in common too with Wolfcop quite a bit. It was like the weird town members, like you don't know what's going on. You don't know if these people are crazy, if they're huffing natural gas because of some natural thing. Are they a cult? Are they this? Both films help you. I mean, well, they don't help you with that, but that it's harder to decide whose loyalties or innocence or guilt to figure out on your own while you're watching it. They kind of have to tell you what happens, or, you know, and I like that. You have to really watch the film and get into it to go on the journey. It's not your atypical, okay, this werewolf, oh, this monster's killing everybody, we shoot him at the end of the movie, it's over. It's not like that at all. Neither one of them are like that at all. So that's what got me, was it was taking a very old idea and both ideas, mixing them together properly, and doing like werewolf and like that lycanthrope stuff that you've never seen done that way before. Yeah, I was trying to be fancy there.
It's a fresh take on the lore.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, because with Wolfcop, you automatically know the cop is the wolf. So with one, you know, we're taking some fresh, fucking innocent little dude into this town. And one of the things that I loved most about it is the quick character development. Like, you kind of got a good sense of everyone in that fucking hotel, because that's where they put him up. And everyone involved, like from the meth couple to the crazy lady. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they could get the fucking hands on at that point.
But it is. I mean, that was the part, like you were saying right there. That's what reminded me of Clue, because it's like he comes into it, and then it's like, oh, well, this is this character. Here's Colonel Mustard. Here's Mrs. White. Here's the crazy lady that you don't know, and oh, there's the meth couple and stuff like. There's so many factors where, and he's such a nice guy, and such like a person that gets walked over easily. He's like, oh, hi. Okay, you're nuts. Okay. Oh, you're crazy too. Oh, shit, you're really crazy. Yeah, you know what I mean? And that's the thing. And he's trying to be, like you say, not he's not a cop, but he is a presence of help and security for the town. You know, it's his job to do certain things to, keep the town going.
Exactly. He's the one he looks at. Exactly. He's got to
trying to find his nerve through most of the film, even though he's a very brave character. So it's like it's very a complex character. The more you go through the film,
that's why the female lead, the male girl, is like that link to everyone in that town as they're going through her route. He's getting to know everybody, and now he's like, oh, I know your backstory. I know what you're all about. All the way to the fucking guy that's, trying to sell the town out to become a millionaire. Right. Everything. It's got greed. It's got lust. It's got, a little bit of everything. It's all tenant.
He definitely, the main character to me, also, he definitely kind of gives off like that Ichabod Crane type person. Yes. Like he's smart as shit. He's smart as shit. He's a cat. He's got a little cowardice to him, but he's got the balls to back it up too.
That's a perfect reference. Yep. I didn't even think about that. Ichabod's perfect for him.
Excellent fucking point. Excellent fucking point. Yes, sir. You got it. He's quirky, but he's smart. He's a coward, but yet when it comes down to it, if no one else can, he will fucking step up. And I love that.
The little bit of like he's too smart for his own good is there.
Yeah, but I like those. I like those in my horror comedy heroes, though.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. And that's the thing, because they got to be funny enough to be in the world if it's a pretty out there comedy thing. But he, even being as put together as he is, he's messed up enough to fit as a piece in that hotel with all these crazy people, or not crazy people. Are they or aren't they? It's like as you're going through the film, you find out, and sometimes you don't. Or it's like they are what they are, and it's like, or they are how you perceive them. And for a whodunit, you can't beat that. It's like it's hard to do a whodunit, I think, nowadays with that many layers to it and pull it off to where anybody could beat the problem. That was what
exactly right. And the fact that they keep trying to lay it off on the woodsman as he's the one who's probably the werewolf. I mean, I just found that shit to be so hilarious because whoever did the writing was brilliant. It's like, okay, we have this big, tall, long-haired, bushy-beard guy that would, fucking like cut your arm off at a fucking glance. Ends up being the biggest teddy bear of them all.
Right. Like it's this guy, he nurses badgers, personally. That kind of guy. Like it's somebody you wouldn't mess with. And then it's like the layer, it's like, oh, this person that looks like they're sunshine and rainbows could be the craziest maniac in the place. And then it's like the guy looks like he ate Grizzly Adams. you know, could be, you know, a nice person and things like that. I loved how they did that because it kept you guessing through the whole film. It really did.
That's something me and Reaper live in everyday life right there. We're metalheads, we're big guys, we're covered in tattoos. Most people don't want to talk to us, but guess what? Once you do, it's fun as shit.
Right.
Okay. I walk around for 6 years looking like I'm in the 1800s most of the time. So I look like a hipster, or I guess if you go in the 1880s, I'm a proto hipster. So, you know, I'm a hipster before they were.
At the same time.
You're into horror and you're into metal like us. You're an okay hipster there. We'll give you the pass on that part.
Well, this is all movie related. This is all for the movie, so
I know. I'm just messing with you.
I mean, just to say though, you know, the medieval period, the 1800s, is one. Well, actually, all of my favorites as far as time periods go, especially when it comes to like historical stuff. So I'm always down with that. Don't get it twisted. There's always two periods that people tell me that I'm supposed to be actually in. That one is the 70s, duh, and then
Right.
two back in medieval times because that's my shit. So
Oh yeah, no doubt. Oh, yeah.
everyone thinks I'm Resident Devil, and I'll take that. Thank you. But we're going to go ahead and take a quick look at a action sequence. Well, it's not really an action sequence, but it's a look into the film that kind of gives you a sense of the dichotomy between all the pinnacle point of characters that have these backstories that you're just like, I don't know who to believe, who not to believe, and it's fucking comedy gold. Check that shit out.
Should have packed our snowshoes.
What? People do that?
You know, fun fact, not only is it the oldest, but remains one of the most effective means of traversing the ice.
Wow. Yeah, you're gonna fit right in at Beaverfield. Everything here is a little questionable. Ranger! The feeble. The weather. Everything.
Oh.
Nature.
I loved his response.
I'm not exactly sure why that one did not show up.
I still love
Gotta
that.
love it. Thank you, StreamYard. Fuck you. But anyway.
Well, I think it still sells the point as that lead up because it's like everybody going at each other. And it's,
Yes.
everything's a little off around here, and it's like you are underselling that town. It is really off around there.
Big time.
But
So
that's the entertainment to it, though. It's like you said, it's like it takes the whodunit and stuff like that, brings in the gossip, the small town conspiracies, the possible millionaire coming in, messing up everything. This new guy, these new characters coming in, so you're getting new influxes. So it's so many layers instead of just, okay, here's the house, here's like 4 or 5 people, somebody's the killer, figure it out. You know, and the film didn't do that. I liked that. It was so much more than that. So
yes.
it's really good writing to make you question everybody with those little backstories and little things. And it's like they didn't force feed them to you. It's like you'll get this little tidbit here, and that'll connect you down the line once you go further into the film. It's like
Absolutely.
you know, just little breadcrumbs or little wolf bits for here you go. Figure something out.
And now we're going to go ahead and make a comparison between the uber elaborate change from Wolfcop to the change in Werewolves Within. Check it out. every fucking time. I mean, obviously, there's a lot more action there, but the one thing that I have to say is very weak transformation.
I agree.
Too quick, didn't give us enough.
CGI.
But now, yeah, exactly. It was more CGI. There was nothing practical there. But that was the pinnacle point where you figured out who the werewolf was. And honestly, she was awesome.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just
it wasn't
the
against the
It
performance.
was
Yeah, I think they should have taken time to give better effects for it. Because the actress
Yep.
was great. I liked her through the whole film. Or
oh, she fucking
yeah,
she
no,
raw.
everybody played their part in each film. That's the thing about this one that got me. Because once I really put the films side by side, it's like every person played their character perfectly. It's like that Mel Brooks perfect casting. It's like where everybody has to be this person or it just doesn't work. These
Yep.
both films actually did that very well. Once you're going through it, it's like, oh, okay, you need this person to be this person, and then it's like you're not sure if they are that person until you could be like halfway through the movie and be like, okay, I'm for sure that this person, okay, I can get behind this person. Oh crap, they really are crazy. It's like that was really good with stuff like that about that film. And the thing with Wolfcop that did it too, they both did that beautifully, and I did not expect that for both of those films. I really did. I agreed with how Cody went. Like when I first saw the thing for Wolfcop, I thought either it's going to be amazing or horrible, and it was amazing. And then I went to the route with Werewolf Within, and it's like you see the front cover and it's like, okay, they got a budget, so it's going to be high production stuff like that. Is it going to lose story? Because that's usually it. And it didn't. It did not, but I agree with you on the werewolf transformation personally, and being an FX guy and child of the 80s. Wolfcop for me, 100%. I did enjoy a female item, not against female werewolf in any way, shape, or form or anything like that. It's just how they did the full concept and the final look and everything. Wolfcop annihilated it.
Absolutely.
That's my personal feeling.
It definitely, you could tell Werewolves Within definitely had a budget. They could have put that budget way into more like practical effects. They could have made it. That was the first time I've seen the transformation was just then. So even just seeing that short second, you could tell they could have put way more into it. It could have been way more transformed than it was.
Or don't put it in there.
Yeah.
Because there's parts with there's parts with the film that I felt that in spots, because it was like it was better because you didn't see it for so long, but it was the presence was totally there. It gave me almost the Thing vibe a little bit, like the paranoia, not knowing who's going to instantly turn and attack you or something. And I think if they would have chose to not actually revealed like fully or even that much, I think the film could have done better. Like you said, it's like put some effects a little bit, show their eyes or something. It's like the last thing you see is close in on their eyes and be like, oh, it was that. Oh, wow, it was them. And I think that would have been a more solid ending for the film. But I did like the film overall.
For me, that's what kills a lot of films. Is like if you build it up so much, you build it. You finally get to that point that you're going to see that creature or whatever, and it's absolute shit. That will kill the entire movie for me. And it doesn't matter how good the first 50 minutes of it was, that one scene can kill it. And I don't necessarily like being like that sometimes, but this is how I guess you can say my brain works.
No, I'm with you on that. If you take me out of it, when I'm already in the film, I've invested this time in there, and it's like you said, if you're building the hype to this creature reveal, and then it's like it's not that it's low budget, because that has never bothered me. Did somebody have a concept? Did somebody have it's like going from what Van Damme was supposed to be as the original Predator, as the purple thing running in the woods, to what Stan
Yeah.
Winston designed and turned it into, to what we got as the the actual Predator design is like night and day.
Yeah.
I kind of felt that way though with this movie, on that end between comparing the two transformations. It was like night and day. It's like they had the rest of the film, but once we get to the werewolf, it's not really about that because this one's more psychological than action werewolf tearing limbs off and what we're used to. But still,
although I think they could have capitalized that a little bit due to the fact that the way she looked and the way she sold it, they totally could have done more with her. The brutality that she could inflict, they really could have capitalized on that.
I agree with that.
Because once the makeup was done, not showing the transformation, I mean, she was pretty fucking scary. There was so much more they could have done there, shown. It would have been awesome.
And the strength, the speed she had was some of the fastest werewolves I've ever seen. Like for the most of the setup to the thing, because it's like you look and something's gone and it's already over there, and it's like there was no guy running, forward back or anything in the moonlight. They're gone. They're already gone and on the move and probably behind you. With the forest movie, with actual forest, nowhere to go, he did that beautifully.
Yeah, definitely.
I felt once you got to it, I felt like what Cody was saying. It's like it was not as much of a payoff as it was for Wolfcop. Once you get to see you get wild. It was more of a payoff for me than the other one was, even though I felt like you both did. If they could have went more intense with the parts where the brutality was shown, it's like, so she's capable of messing people up. And they just didn't route with it, I don't know where the budget went. CGI.
I think I'm so hard on like werewolf movies because I grew up watching like werewolves in London. I love seeing when they transform, they break down, their eyes change, their teeth grow. And then when I was a teenager, I think I was a teenager, but Underworld movies come out, and to me the Underworld lichens are what a werewolf is supposed to be. The hybrid, he kind of killed me on it. That kind of killed it. But if you take this to werewolf, that's what I'm sold on. If I think of werewolf movie, that's what I think of. It's a big, gnarly, badass creature. And
right.
If they're going to transform into that, I'd rather them to transform into something than a whole lot of nothing. And that's just.
I can agree with that. Because like sometimes they'll go under for the werewolf. It's like, oh, he's got a little fur and he's got a little bit of nail and some teeth, and that's it. And then you'll go to the level where you have like Dog Soldiers or the Howling, or Howling 6, where his knees literally break backwards and literally become dog legs. It's like, or the Wolfman. You have all these different werewolf movies that'll take the transformation in different direction. And like I said, for like Wolfcop, for me, it really felt like what the movie Van Helsing was trying to pull off with the werewolf transformation, where the beast is already in and you're removing the skin. And it's like Wolfcop, even not having that crazy ass budget of Van Helsing, did better job in my opinion. The only one part of his makeup that I did not like was the pink lip line.
Yeah.
That was the only part of his makeup I didn't like because it looked like he had it
was like his makeup.
But it's like his claws, his design. It's like, yeah, he was a little bulky because he was a really furry werewolf, but it's still as a connected suit, all went together back. It was an amazing look that he had, and I think with her, they could have went for more, like you were saying, the more sleek, fast, deadly, killing apex predator kind of vibe with her, and kind of backed off in another direction, which is fine too. I mean, it's still a good film at the end of the day. I still enjoyed it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, when you're doing that much of a buildup,
Yeah, I agree.
it's like your dick gets hard.
Yeah.
It's hard luck. It's about to erupt, and
You
then
get blue balls.
exactly right.
No,
That's how I felt about that ending sequence. I'm like, you gave her just a little bit of action? Why? There was no reason they couldn't have made that a little bit more epic.
Well,
Because even then, they were giving some of those hotel characters too much more screen time.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, instead of just like she starts tearing through them like tissue paper.
Oh yeah.
Now, it I would have loved.
Oh yeah.
I agree with Aaron. Like, just listen to y'all talk. I haven't finished yet and seen the transformation. If they would have just brought it in close or something, just you can obviously tell a person by this right here. You can tell who's there.
Yeah.
And if it was just their eyes glazing over, changing to a different thing, use some gnarly ass contacts like back in the day.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit of prosthetic around through here just to bulk it up. And it would have had way more of a feeling than just turning into a CG character.
I agree completely. Because the actress could pull it off. That they had so many actors in that movie. Anybody. And I still say it for people that might not even figure it out on that point. Still watch the film. Because it could be anybody. Okay, there's more than one woman in this film. Like a bit. And we could be just leading you astray here just so we don't tell you. You never know. It's a murder mystery.
Right.
That's the thing with the werewolf aspect of it, though. It's nice to know that you can go, like Wolfcop give you a male gender. And then another side, it's like you could get different views of it. But it's like, it is too more of the battle of the practical werewolf outfit and costume compared to a CG one. And I don't think practical will ever lose that.
Part of me wondering if they just go ahead, Reaper. You good? You good?
Okay, I was going to say the nice thing is that they were also able to work her in as an anti-hero because there was a method to her madness the entire time.
Yeah, calculated. It wasn't stupid. That's the thing.
Nope.
It's like a lot of them. It's like, oh, I've got all this. Nobody knows this, and then I'm just gonna reveal myself to this one person so bad and make so much noise. Oh, look, he was the werewolf the whole time. Boom, kill him. It didn't work that way. You know what I mean? They didn't work that way. It was calculated, very calculated. And you don't get to see that too often. It's usually vampire movies and stuff that'll do that. Or find out a secret. We've been doing it for years,
This may be just me, me just sitting here thinking things because, like, now that I've seen it, I'm just trying to play through things in my head of why they wouldn't have done a practical thing if it was just be. Most time you have to see a female body, you see a female body, you'll see a body transform. I wonder if that's what they didn't want to take the chance of risking, like maybe a different rating on nudity or something like that.
Actually,
but
they
could have put her in a full body suit that had been painted, and you'd have the aspects of everything that's there. It's just the female form into a werewolf, but it's just me sitting here trying to process and think things. So,
if I myself was in charge of the film and I was going to do the practical effect, I would have went exactly the way you said. Give her the form, so so you can see it in the transformation with the hair sprouting and the claw. Make it. You don't have to sexualize it, but the same as it was with the man. You're stretching out. Your body is altering, and a woman could probably do a lot more interesting effects than a man can, trying to show that your body is changing.
They can put the baby out, so yeah, they can do a lot more.
I agree. Exactly. No, exactly. And it's like, but I agree with what you're saying. Is you could give the actress that ability without making her have to be naked or feel bad. It's the same as the guy. I'm sure David Naughton didn't want to be there naked with Rick Baker gluing wolf legs on him.
Right.
But you do what you got to do for the scene. You know, and it's like, I believe she did do that So I have no problem with the actress at all. I just have a problem with, the ending look could have been better.
But even with that ending look, though, if they would have gave her more ability to show what she could do, even the way she looked without a full suit or anything like that, she really could have sold that shit. I mean, I don't know too many, actresses that could pull that off in a 20-minute time span. The way that she did, if it would have gave her just a little bit more, make her a little bit more badass. I mean, the element of the hilarity, she changes and then boom, gets hit with the fucking thing on the back of her head. It's like, man, let her do a little something first. She could have got up on him and, she's ready to start ripping at him and then hit her over the head.
Yeah.
To me, that would have been a little bit more awesome, not just from a comedy aspect, but from she's a badass motherfucking werewolf that, she could stand up against Wolfcop, that kind of thing.
Right.
Like you said, if they would have let her fully transform, go into not yet a rage skill, but at least get to the point she's going to do it and have his character under her, losing his absolute shit would have been funny as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Him doing that typical babble, scared shitless thing, and they just put a camera over the top of him, so it's a point of view of him flipping his fucking mind, and it would have sold it more than just getting smacked in the back of the head with a soap.
Well, see, that's like you were saying right there. For Wolfcop, you've got the best friend watching this transformation happen, and it's like, oh, sorry, I forgot to press record, my bad. Like it's nothing, completely nonchalant. And then you go to the other film, and you have him, oh fuck, oh holy fuck, oh, you get a real reaction of what would be happening. It's like I liked that he did that. It's like each one of his reactions to things was so real. I mean, it felt like he's really in here going, holy crap, how am I going to deal with this situation? You could see the fear in his face, but it's like, I agree with both of you. It's like, if she got a chance to really get in there and get nasty and show what she was truly capable of, I think it would have sold that, oh man, we're in trouble. The fear that that the character built up through the rest of the entire film. And then that's where it is. It's like you're saying, it's like you're so built up to a point, and kind of the end, kind of you got to walk over and slam it in the door. It kind of takes it another way, but it's still, for me, didn't ruin the film. Even with that, because you ended on a funny. You ended on a badass funny. And if you can end on a badass moment with a funny for a horror comedy, it doesn't have to end on a horror note. It can end on a comedy note. It can end on a badass note. It can even be somber or sad, really, if it wants to go that route just to throw you off. So I
exactly.
I did like that about it. It saved itself still. It was still a good movie. I'd watch it again. I'd buy it, I'd add it to my werewolf collection.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, both of them.
All right. Let's go ahead and give our ratings for the film. And then we're going to have to put it up to a vote who won. So for me, I'm going to have to go with a 4-point even. Now, that is not to say that I hated this film or disliked it, but for me, it had all the elements. It had great fucking story. It was a great fucking mystery, a whodunit. Every actor, actress fucking nailed their parts to the T. I love the setting. Everything about it. The comedy was so dark, so wonderful. But what ruined it for me at the end was the lackluster part of the she-wolf that could have been so much more.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. I would, for myself, I got to agree with you on the 4 out of 5 there. And I agree with everything you said. I mean, it's like I still enjoyed the film. I think parts ran a little longer than they needed to. I think the film started to get a little long. Definitely parts, but some of it was definitely worth all that amount of time watching it. You know, it was building stuff in there. It wasn't wasted time. And then I agree with you on the werewolf. If they would have delved in more to that aspect once we got there, spent a little more budget, practically, personally, I think she would have been. I think would have got a 5, same as Wolfcop.
Yep.
But yeah, I'd have to give it a 4 for those things.
I haven't, like I said earlier, I haven't fully watched it all. Like I've watched the probably first 30-ish minutes of it. I've skipped through some of it just to try to catch up to what we could do. So based off of that, what I watched and what we've talked about, what y'all have talked about, I'd probably give it about the same as y'all as a 4. Seeing the transformation of the werewolf, it's going to kill it a lot for me because it doesn't have that wow factor, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But if it had more of that to it, she went on actual rage kill, maybe not even just killed nobody, just kind of messed them up, got to him, I would probably give it more than that. But yeah, I think I'm going to stick with about a 4.
All right. So, as it pertains to Wolfcop versus Werewolves Within, who is the victor?
Wolfcop.
Wolfcop. And who is the loser?
Werewolves Within.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Oh, smack.
Nice. But no, it was an earned victory though, and it's not that Werewolves Within wasn't a good competitor, because it was.
Exactly.
And it was a great take, but yeah, I think this was a great idea. These are two great films to see battle it out. I enjoyed.
Go ahead.
They're both good. They're both good in their own realms of what they are, I guess you could say. This one has more practical effects, while this one has CG in it. But for me, I love practical things over computer generated anything. And when it comes to art, music,
The audacity!
that's just how I am. I love people that will take something and make something out of nothing versus copping a way out to get it done. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Exactly right. Unfortunately, that's what happens with some of these bigger budget films, and they want to get cute, they want to get fancy, because maybe they don't want to push their actors. But with Wolfcop, they went all in.
Yeah,
and
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
They let it all hang out. They didn't give a damn about nothing in that. They made a movie the way they wanted to make it, and
Bless them.
fuck what y'all think. I'm gonna do what I do. Do what I do.
And that was the
Exactly.
thing that, for me with that one. It reminded me of all of what we're trying to do, what all of us are trying to do. You know what? Carnage, get well, brother. Rest up. Exactly what he's trying to do, what you are trying to do, what I'm trying to do, what Cody's trying to do, what a lot of people are trying to do is put that passion, that love, and it's like we're gonna make a werewolf cop movie. like what do you mean? No, I mean like this dude is a crazy cop that is going to turn into a freaking werewolf and still be a cop.
Right.
Dude, I'll help you make that movie. That's how that conversation happened, I bet you.
Oh, I guarantee it.
Yeah, and
I'm sure.
love that. You feel it watching it.
I'm pretty
Oh,
sure.
I'm sure when they pitched, they were like, you know, it's got Americana to it. It's a little bit backwoods, but it's also like a fucking superhero. I can only imagine how that pitch went.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, there's no love lost in that movie for alcohol. I guarantee you, they was drunk. They was drunk as shit at some point during either when they come up with it or when they wrote that shit. Somewhere.
Dude, Hair of the Dog. How many times did Hair of the Dog get referenced in that movie?
Exactly.
Drinking and
Exactly.
werewolf. Come on. I agree with you, man. People were putting it back right in that script, but they did it well. So
I'm sure there was some devil's lettuce in there somewhere as well.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. Which is funny. I was gonna say, before I forget, for Wolf Cop, when I watched it, and this is an old movie reference, Reaper, you'll probably catch this. Do you remember a movie from back in the day called My Demon Lover?
Oh my damn! Yes.
Where the guy he got cursed by a gypsy because he, and any time that he would get turned on in any way, he would start literally turning demonic. And it was a different demon look every single time it happened. But in that's what Wolf Cop kind of vibe got me, especially once we got towards certain scenes in the jail. Made me think Demon Lover, and it's like these people know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. It's like you're
one thing. That's one thing that could have made that movie just a teeny bit better. Is one, if the werewolf ended up taking a hit off of a joint, or if he accidentally got a little bit of that meth fumes up his nose and just went a little bit nuts. That would have just gave it like a little bit more of an edge.
I can almost imagine what part 2 is going to look like.
Oh yeah.
I definitely know all three of us will definitely check out part 2, because who would have fucking imagined that they would have made a second one? Because usually movies like this are a one-off. It just, they put it out there, see what happens. Right. And this one got a second one.
Well, this one had legs, I mean, you could feel it watching it. And but I agree exactly what you're saying. It's like a film can come out and you're like, oh, that's a cool concept. It could be a great movie. And it's just the company is like you said, they're testing the waters and never follow that through. Never continue. It's like, come on, man. We all wanted to see
jail,
and it's like for Wolf Cop, I'm very glad it got a sequel. Because
definitely,
it's a popcorn fun. It's sitting there drinking beer with your friends and just watching craziness ensue on the movie and having a great time. I'm all about that. It's like, but the Werewolves Within too, even with that had so many different aspects to it. Both films were really good. I've had a lot of fun with this. This has been great.
And what I love about it is that both of these films can reach literally everyone. There are, if you want a little bit more of a thrill ride, something more crazy, definitely go with Wolf Cop. If you want something that has a real good kind of, like you said, murder mystery kind of thing, the Werewolves Within really delivers on that. But if you're looking for, a little bit more gore, definitely Wolf Cop is the movie for you. If you want a little bit more like plot and really good, fleshed out, awesome characters that are so fucking insane, you're gonna laugh your ass off at it. Werewolves Within. Equally very good films, but Wolf Cop definitely kicks more fucking ass.
It's
so go to Tubi. Go to Tubi. It's free.
Wolf Cop is kind of like something you and your partner would watch, or your friends just hanging out, drinking around. Werewolf Within is kind of a little bit more tamed down to just a hair. Like you can watch it with your teenage kid, they can have fun with it or something like that. But if you just want to have a balls out, fun time, throw on Wolf Cop and just let it go.
I agree with it. I couldn't have said it better.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Morgrot Universe, thank you so much for joining us on a Friday night. And even more so, thank you to both my co-pilots tonight, Aaron Markham and Cody Gray of Defiler of the Crown Art, for stepping in for our brother Carnage. We miss you, brother. We love you. And we definitely hope that you feel better. And we will be back on Wednesday nights in about 2 weeks, because myself, the Big Bad Devil Daddy, and Cody will be at Nashville Horror Con next weekend. And you can expect so much bad assery when that happens. So definitely stay tuned to both of our Facebook pages, Morgrot Entertainment as well, Black Flame Entertainment, as far as all the updates regarding that. But just keep in mind, I know we kicked your party off tonight, but tomorrow night, if you're ready to get blasphemy, if you are ready to go fucking insane and fucking do fucked up shit and get fucked up, the goddamn program comes back tomorrow night. So definitely join us here on Morgrot Entertainment for the wildest ride that you'll ever could possibly imagine at 8 p.m. tomorrow night CST. So definitely tune in. Everyone has been amazing all week long, and it's so good to be back. Back in the saddle again and back in black. So definitely take it from us. Check out both of these awesome films. It is just amazeball. Especially if you love werewolves, if you love to fucking laugh a little bit, fucking crack a cold one, get some devil's lettuce, whatever it is you do, and give it a shot, because it's going to be so worth it. And as you are laying it down, or maybe you're just going to go on and continue the party, get down to motherfucking Wolfcop, who won tonight, and always stay heavy.